Good evening. It is getting a bit late on, Wednesday night. But it is the 25th of these posts in a little bit more than the 25 days. I'm a few posts behind. I think I'm 3 behind, but we're a quarter of the way through the project, and I just wanted to I had a cancellation today with the person that I was going to interview, so they've been moved to next week, and I kind of wanted to reflect a little bit on how this journey's been so far and some gaps that I need to address in my own knowledge as we move forward from here. So on top of all of the readings about designing for complexity and system-oriented design, and some more human factors things, I also want to look into a bit more the chartering side, the contractual side of shipping, the finance side of shipping, that I don't have as much experience in, and I do see as a potential way to facilitate change in the industry. And I think using sustainability drives like we had talked about previously is going to be a really big part of that. So game plan is to spend the rest of this week, which is tomorrow and Friday and the weekend, to finish looking at part 2 of the shapes and segments. So I have a few more people that I want to talk to, and we'll see if we can fit them in part 2. But if we can't, it's okay, because we can talk to them again in part 4. The beginning of next week, I want to talk a little bit about how the ocean industries affect the world and how that kind of shapes a lot of interactions in the industry and dependencies for what the industry needs to deliver when. And there's a couple different things I want to talk about for that. And then we'll be into part 4, the people, the stakeholders, and we'll spend about 2.5 weeks there. So yeah, we're a quarter way there. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground, but I feel like there's even more that we haven't covered and haven't talked about. Like we haven't really talked to different flag states. We haven't talked to inspection bodies. We haven't talked to incident reporting. We haven't talked to class. We haven't talked to chartering and brokerage. We haven't talked to tugs. We haven't talked to ports. It's so big, and there's so much to look at. But in the end, I think that it's really interesting that we're, some of you are taking the time to watch all of these that I'm making, but also that we have kind of a chance to, or I have the chance to look at the industry or try to look at the industry in a more holistic way, instead of just from the viewpoints that I've had from where I've been working, where I've been sitting, both in the operation side and then in the technology side. So yeah, we need to talk to regulators and ports, and I'm looking forward to talking for VTS coming up, and it should be interesting. But if you have people that you think that I should talk to in the stakeholder section, or even about how the industry affects the world, or even more on the shapes and segments, I think I need to be a bit more flexible than I had made in my schedule, so that we have time to kind of bounce around a little bit between the sections and uncover things that maybe we haven't thought about. It was really interesting from last week into this week, looking at the regulatory side and how commercial pressure really shapes the industry, and how we might use commercial pressure to shape the industry in a different way. So thinking a lot about it, thinking a lot about where to go from here, but we're 1/4 way there. So that's a small milestone anyway. Have a good evening, and we'll talk again tomorrow.